Well, good day to you. Thought we'd change up things a little today and do something a bit different. Be shorter as well. I want to do a story, an uncomfortable short story. So, in this particular beautiful setting, and with a good cup of coffee, sit back and relax and listen to a little story. The heat was intense. Flames shot skyward as, one by one, they all became engulfed. That's what he said would happen. Just as soon as we all gathered on the day. Now we were all standing around, groups of people and a lot of anxious individuals, just standing, waiting for the fires to burn out. He was there, holding a tool that reminded me of the burners used on sugarcane fields, and he went from one project to another. As quickly as he torched it, he moved on to the next. And that glorious host around him cheered wildly. The heat was getting worse. Many of those whose hopes and dreams were now rising on the cooling cinders fainted, and some appeared to be quite ill. It would not be long before mine would face the test. I suppose that we had always known that this day would come. It wasn't like we weren't told. Now it seems like we should have had a better perspective. I could have done a better job with what I had to work with. In a panicky kind of way, I now wondered if mine would stand. Would it endure? Some of the first to burn off were clear now, and the anointed one was picking through the rubble looking for something, anything. Its owner looked downcast and immediately sad. He came to him, and from where I stood, his words did not seem pleasant, and the owner was crying. The only thing I could hear was that it was all gone. Other areas had cooled and were being dissected. At one site, they found bank records, dividend receipts, and an enormous pile of stocks and bonds, now just charred and useless. Must have been worth millions. And the group to whom it belonged staggered with incredulity. I guess the fireproof boxes of their good intentions just didn't work. And he sat them down after they kneeled politely and told them in no uncertain terms that they had had misplaced priorities. And then he left them to torch another's pile as they gazed numbly at the ruins of their work, their organization, their very lives. There was a commotion coming from the far corner and a rousing cheer. Everybody craned their necks to have a better look. It was a married couple. The anointed one was holding armfuls of stuff that came from the soot and the ash, and they were all very shiny and beautiful. And in their hands was evidence of lives dedicated to him. Objects that represented time and effort put into people for his cause. The anointed other relics represented the love and the concern that they had for members of his body. Some of the articles looked as if they were intended as investments of an eternal sort. What everyone noticed was the smile that broke across his face as he waved at them and yelled proudly, "Well done!" The heat on my pitiable offering was rapidly climbing, and so my concern and fear were also climbing. My stack of stuff was not all that bad compared to the other stuff I saw, mind you. Among men, my efforts and skills and contributions to the community, my job, my family, and to my church were noteworthy, and everyone said so and appreciated them. I thought that most of this would remain, but that was before I saw what a consuming holy passion could accomplish and what actually remained. As the embers became charcoal, I looked at a lifetime of achievement, human applause and kudos. So much was now so little. And I was sinking into despair when somebody pointed to a shiny object buried in the blackened ruins of my offerings. It was totally unexpected. I never thought about it much. I had given some money for an evangelism project at our church. I even got involved in an evangelism team and helped lead some people to him. Here was the fruit, tried and tested by fire. I'd almost forgotten it, wishing I had done much more of it. Not much here. Wished I had known how hot holy fire is and what it can burn. Excuse me. I gotta run now. They found something else. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9 to 15 say these words. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field, God's building. According to the grace God has given me, like a skilled master builder, I laid a foundation and someone else is building upon it. Let each one take care how he builds upon it. No one can lay a foundation other than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become manifest, for the day will disclose it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test what sort of work each one has done. If the work that anyone has built on the foundation survives, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned up, he will suffer loss, though he himself will be saved, but only as through fire. I'm Scott Krieger, and this is my moment in the sun.